The following is a production of Frank DeFreitas and the Internet Museum of Holography.
Hello, this is Frank DeFreitas, and welcome to HoloTalk, the Internet's laser and holography talk show. Our toll-free number is 1-800-458-3525, or you can send an email to holotalk@holoworld.com. We've got telephone calls, we've got emails, we've got special guests coming up, so thank you for tuning in, and let's get this week's show on the road. Hello, this is Frank DeFreitas, and welcome to another week of HoloTalk. Our guest this week is Brian Monahan from Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper, located in Glenside, Pennsylvania. They have a website at www.holoprism.com. That's HOLOPRISM, www.holoprism.com. Now, as you're listening to the show, you can go over and visit their website. We also have a link on the HoloTalk page. You can just click on the link, and the show will continue to play with the real audio player in the background as you visit their website. Our musical guest this week is a band called Brazil 2000. Now, Brian has a very interesting company. They're producing holograms using desktop computers and holographic printers. Now, they're not doing the traditional three-dimensional holograms. They're doing what we refer to as 2D, 3D holograms, which means it has almost a spectral quality to it, and it does have some depth, but the depth is more in layers than anything else. They use the desktop computers to both design the images themselves and also bring images in that are supplied to them on discs, and also, as Brian tells us in the interview, more and more commonly through the Internet. So it's going to be a very interesting interview. Before we get to that interview, I just want to point out one thing. There's going to be a major laser and holography exhibit in this area. Now, if you live in the New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. corridor, or anywhere in that area, all the way west to, say, Harrisburg, this exhibit is going to be right in your area. Now, at this point in time, there have not been any press releases sent out on this, so I cannot comment on when the exhibit's going to be or where it's going to be located. But I will let you do this. I'm going to give you an email address. That email address is as follows: exhibit@holoworld.com. That email address is exhibit@holoworld.com. If you send an email to that address, I'm going to put up a special folder for you, and I'm going to put all the emails into that folder, and as soon as the information is released and I get the go-ahead on releasing some of that information, I will make sure that you are the first people to know about it. And I'm also going to look into perhaps having HoloTalk listeners receive maybe a discount or something of that nature if you come out to see this show. It's going to be approaching holography and lasers through science and technology, so it's going to be something to see. Now, this isn't going to be a long show. I've moved the studio. The studio equipment and everything we need to broadcast is now over at the Discovery Center of Science and Technology. We're going to be doing this show live in front of people each weekend, so we may have to change the date that it goes up. We'll have to see about that. But in any case, we're going to make this a short show because some of the equipment is hooked up, other parts of the equipment is not hooked up. So we're just going to go right into the Brian Monahan interview, and let's see what Brian has to say about his company, Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper, and what they're doing with desktop holography.
Good morning.
Hi, Brian. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
We're talking with Brian Monahan from Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper, and they're located in Glenside, Pennsylvania. Brian, how you doing today?
Not bad, Frank. And you?
Okay. To tell you the truth, when I was looking through your materials last night, and, well, we've known each other for a while anyway.
Yep.
But to be honest with you, we could probably do 2 shows on what it is that you guys are doing down there. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the hotter things that are going on down there?
Yes. Well, just recently, as a matter of fact, the past 2 days, we have done some really amazing breakthroughs in the realm of photoresist holography.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we are doing a new process which will enable us to make dot matrix type holograms at extremely, extremely high speeds in very large formats, and also in cylindrical formats.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the big thing about that is our industry, which is in the embossed holography industry, seam lines where shims meet up on an embossing cylinder are taboo, especially with our cross grading, our rainbow cross grading. So we've developed a technique to be able to write our holography directly into a cylinder and produce a fairly long-lasting cylinder with absolutely no seam lines.
Well, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Now, what size can you go up to with this? You said large format. What do you mean large format?
Well, right now we are set up to do 30 inches by 40 inches at extremely high speed.
Wow.
We are in the works of engineering a plan to do 110-inch wide cylinders.
Wow.
Mainly for some larger wide web embossers in the country. It is absolutely fantastic, and it's the best thing is I look back at when I met you and we took your class with the Heaney lasers, and my biggest goal in life was to be able to get a 10 milliwatt Heaney. And setting up endless hours of tables and carpets and cement in my basement, and coming out with what you might call a hologram on several occasions really spurred me. And now I look back at that and look where we are now with we have 4 dot matrix labs. We have our own clean rooms for coating photoresist, electroforming, embossing, and a lot of very high-powered and fun lasers to play with.
Now, the holography part of your business for Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper, that's running, what percentage would you say that is of your business?
To date, about 95%.
95%. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, you do what they call desktop holography. Would that be a correct term for it? The fact that they're working on desktop computers in the design stage? Yeah,
that would be a good term. Everything that we do is electronic. We do not use any masks or anything like that with a conventional 2D, 3D holography or models.
So someone scans an image in to your computer, or you receive that on a disk if they wanted something reproduced?
Yes, or a lot right now is coming via the internet.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
As JPEG images or whatever?
Bitmap.
Bitmap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we do is we have our computer system will break down a bitmap image, just as a BMP file may have 256 different colors. Our computer will interpret it, and our machine will run at 256 different angles.
I see.
So as the picture has all the colors to make the picture, we shoot a hologram with all the angles to make the same picture, pixel by pixel.
Now, you had a couple interesting projects. One of the ones that goes back a little way is Star Trek Generations.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Men in Black video covers, video cassette cover as well.
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Star Trek one was a good. We won a few awards with the IHMA, the International Hologram Manufacturers Association, for the Star Trek box, and it really, in my opinion, turned out really pretty fantastic. It achieved its goal. That led into a lot of other projects, some smaller ones, but then eventually into the Men in Black, which last year, definitely, if not to date, was the largest holographic packaging job in the world.
I was looking through your materials last night, 1:30 in the morning in bed, just to get ready for doing the show today, and I picked out this one piece here, which is Premium Mirror Board 1.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I wonder if this could be used as a regular mirror. So I went down into the lab, because I had my lab at my house. And believe it or not, it does a nice job reflecting laser light. You could cut this up and make front surface mirrors. I'm almost positive that the surface on this is so good that I could use it in a holographic setup and make a hologram with it.
Well, we got a new end use now for it.
On cardboard.
But you know what? We had no idea what it would be used for when we introduced that product. It took us about 1.5 years to be able to design it that it would be printable, and you could cut it into a box and fold it and glue it. but it still had to have that absolutely perfect mirror condition.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while. Once we made it, we really didn't have too much of an idea who would use it and how it would be used.
Sort of like the laser itself.
Yeah. But it's amazing. We have customers using it for things as crazy as mirrors for inmates in prison.
No kidding.
Since they can't have anything sharp, they get a piece of this mirror board along with their toothbrushes, and then they can shave in it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I think I'm going to try working with it a little bit. It doesn't work too well on a spread beam, once the beam's spread out, but to take the beam around the table, this works just as good as one of the little front surface mirrors. You may have something there. What are some of the other things? You've done a number of different labels for breweries, like Miller Genuine Draft, right?
Well, that one we weren't involved with. That one was a good story to tell our customers.
Mm-hmm.
That one was shot by Chromogen.
I see.
Several years ago, but the sales results from that were pretty amazing. So we like to tout the sales results of that one.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been really pretty diverse. It's really amazing where all the ends of our holography is going. From everything from, again, the packaging arena, which is very hot right now. We're trying to push more into the publishing area
mm-hmm.
for book covers, annual report covers, things of that nature. Our large format holography, our large machine, will, when it produces the 30 by 40, works really very well with posters and point of purchase displays, things of that nature. We're still a relatively small company, and it's difficult when you try to get into this industry, thinking that you can compete with the American banknotes of the world,
mm-hmm.
Where they're producing 1 billion little half-inch holograms a year.
Yeah.
So we kind of took a different direction in the packaging in the large format, and we may not sell 1 billion of our holograms, but if we sell 1 million sheets that are 30 by 40 inches, it's a lot of square inches of holographic material.
Yeah, I see your applications here on Christmas cards, on comic book covers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just on everything.
It has been actually the best part of it. It has been a lot of fun doing it. We work with a lot of good customers. M&M Mars is a project we got finished doing. It took about 6 months where we mastered, I would say, 14 different originations and combined that into a seamless background pattern to make a 2-foot by 3-foot hologram that would be embossed and then adhered to the side of a candy cart for retail distribution.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a long time to shoot that many originations and to get it just right, but we had a great customer to work with, and when we were all done, you look at it and it's fantastic.
Is that the one with all the candy bar names on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I have that up. I have that hanging in the center here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a fantastic piece, and we're starting to see a lot more people willing to venture into new and unique things like that. And it's really fun. When somebody comes to us and says we want to do this or you want to do something unique, we have a lot of fun in proofing it and showing them what capabilities that we have and what can be done out there.
I just want to let the listeners know that Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper has a website. Let me give you the web address, and there's also a link right on the HoloTalk page. It's www.holoprism.com. www.holoprism.com. And you can go to their website even as you're listening to this show, because the Real Audio Player will continue to play in the background as you surf the web. So if you'd like to find out more about Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper, you can go right now to their website and the show will continue. You can still listen to the show while you're cruising around the web there.
I think I will mention to you that for people who understand the internet well, that our website is antiquated and old, and we're in the works of updating it and not making it so graphically intensive and more user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But for 2.5 years old, it did its job.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. You have a nice CD-ROM too, an instructional CD-ROM.
Yeah, and that's again, that's available to people who are interested in holography, who want to know a little bit more, very basics on how holograms are made, embossed holography, and a little bit more about what our company does.
Let me ask you this before we close out here. Do you ever get any comments from anybody that what you're doing is not holography? Does anybody ever say that?
Yeah, some people do. Some people...
What's your response to that?
Well, my response is that what we're doing is considered two-dimensional holography. We're interfering two beams of laser light to create an interference pattern. Be it a interference pattern as complex as a three-dimensional image would be or a two-dimensional image, it really doesn't matter. Some of the work that we've done in the past, we contract out to get a three-dimensional image or stereographic image and combine it and integrate it with our holographics, our 2D prismatic. And what the biggest thing that our target audience is normally people that have products that are under in-store lighting conditions, where ours works very well, especially the dot matrix. It shows a lot of color and a lot of movement. And a three-dimensional hologram would be difficult to see. Sometimes the combination of the two of them, our dot matrix holography gets them in, three-dimensional holography wows them.
Yeah.
So there's a place for everything, and I think eventually we'll be getting into doing some 3D origination,
I was just going to ask you that. Yeah.
Stuff like that. We've been working very hard on protecting what we're doing. We just got issued a patent last week on registering lithography to holography.
Congratulations on that.
People say that that's not true holography. Same thing. It's a unique product in itself.
Yeah, I see you moving in that direction. I'm going to try and describe this to you so that you know what I'm talking about. There's a piece that was in your package with two angels on it, and they're looking up towards the clouds. And I see you moving more towards the imaging, the actual imaging itself with this piece, because I think this piece grabbed my attention right away.
And then, unfortunately, you don't have the printed piece, but the true printing, the true lithography would be printed in register to that hologram to add some color and texture, so it's just not all silver embossed hologram.
If you're listening to this show and you're finding it hard to imagine exactly what it is we're talking about, you may want to go over to the Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper site. But chances are you've already had a chance to see something that's been produced by Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper. Next time you're over the video store, pick up the Men in Black video. Oh, mine's written in French. I just noticed that.
Yeah, we did so far about 16 countries, including Russia and Saudi Arabia.
No kidding. Well, pick up the Men in Black video cassette box, and you'll see exactly what it is that they're doing over Pennsylvania Pulp and Paper. So, Brian, we're going to head out.
Great.
This is the first show that I've done live from the Discovery Center. So you were sort of a guinea pig this week because this equipment just got hooked up. But I think everything worked out okay.
Yep. If you don't try something new, you'll never get anywhere.
Now, you need a little help getting that real audio player to work, right?
Yep.
I'm going to send an email to you to show you how you can do that easily with America Online, because it's a little bit different than with a direct Internet dial-up account.
Wonderful.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Brian, thanks for being a guest.
Thank you, Frank.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks, that was the Brian Monahan interview. We're going to get to questions next week. We had a bunch of questions coming in. In fact, we had the best week we ever had last week. In fact, on Monday, when Steve Benton interview first started, we had 1,114 listeners on Monday, 1,049 listeners on Tuesday, and I'm not quite sure the number on Wednesday. I forgot it, actually, but it was over 1,000. So within 3 days, we had 3,000 listeners Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the show. We've got a bunch of questions that came through. We're going to get to the questions next week. You know, every other week we have a special guest, and then we get to questions and other things on the, odd weeks. So don't forget our toll-free number, 1-800-458-3525, or send an email to holotalk@holoworld.com.
If you want information about that holography exhibit that's coming to this area, New York, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, easy drive from any of those places, send an email to exhibit@holoworld.com, and I'll fill you in on that. So thank you for tuning in to HoloTalk. Don't forget our special musical guest this week is a band called Brazil 2000, here for your listening pleasure. Don't forget to tune in for that. And this is Frank DeFreitas once again for HoloTalk. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.